So I'm sure you all are watching this video because you saw in the title that I'm no longer working with YoungLA, and I'm going to explain what happened while I eat this delicious, beautiful bowl of chicken, broccoli, and rice. So I was debating whether or not I should make this video or not about this whole situation with YoungLA, but I just decided to do it because it just helps a lot to talk about this kind of stuff. Even though I'm really not that upset about it, I think just a lot of people will be curious as to how it all works and the reason why I got dropped. So the way that YoungLA sponsors athletes is first they do a 3-month trial, okay? So for 3 months they gauge basically how many sales you make or how many referrals you get. And you can track it on a little link that they give you. And the goal is the minimum. They want to see 50 sales on at least 2 of those months. During this time you get a link which people use your code and they get 10% off whenever they use your code, which my code was code Jason at the time. So, and then once you're on the team after the 3 months, then you're officially a YoungLA athlete, sponsored athlete, and you get, your code goes from 10% to 15% off when people start using your code. So it's basically like a trial period to see how well you're going to do with the company and how much clothing you sell, okay? Obviously, to get straight to the point, I didn't sell enough, right? So I basically sold, first month I got around 30, second month I got 40, and then the third month I got around 40 as well. So I got pretty close to those months, but I didn't get over. And they're pretty strict with it. So even if you're really close, even if I got 49 all 3 of the months, they still probably wouldn't have taken me because they want to see over 50 no matter what, because they work with a lot of athletes and they want to make it a good business opportunity. So I understand there's no hard feelings. It's completely business. There's no point in complaining about it or arguing. I totally understand why they wouldn't want to work with me. In a way, it is kind of a relief because their posting requirements are pretty wild. They want you to post 4 times a month on your feed and then 4 times per week on your story and promoting YoungLA. And so it's a relief in the fact that I don't have to worry about sales anymore, because honestly I was really stressed the whole trial period because obviously I wasn't hitting that 50 referral mark. If a lot of you have been following me for a while, I've been working with a lot of other clothing companies. I've worked with Jet North, Raw Gear, I've worked with TLF. Some of them, even obviously they didn't drop me. I got a good opportunity and moved on to a different company. But if I would have done as well as I did with YoungLA during these past 3 months, with the amount of referrals I got and the amount of sales I've made, then I feel like any other company I've worked with would have been very happy and would have kept me for sure. Because I've made YoungLA, thousands of dollars in sales, because they count a referral as basically just an order. So people can order, $100 to $300 in sales of clothing in one order, and that's just one referral. So I had to make 50 of those. In my opinion, that is pretty difficult to achieve. Even though I have a good following on Instagram. I have almost 400,000 followers on Instagram. I'm sure some people with that following would be able to reach that goal. Some people wouldn't. Unfortunately, my following, for some reason, doesn't respond well to sales pitches, okay? So I think it's just the way it is, For any of those who were using my code Jason, then you can actually just use code Joe now, because code Joe is commemorating Joe Aesthetics. As many of you know, he passed away. It's really sad what happened. He got a brain aneurysm. So if you were going to use my code for future sales or future drops from YoungLA, use code Joe, because those proceeds go to his family for his funeral and just to support his family. And I'm probably not going to be working with the clothing company for a while, because honestly, when I'm not working with clothing companies, I tend to do the best with genuinely posting about myself. So I'm gonna keep being consistent with YouTube and Instagram, obviously. Keep posting every day on Instagram, YouTube every week. But now it's gonna get better because I'm not gonna be tailoring my stuff toward selling clothes. I'm just gonna be genuinely myself and do what I wanna do, right? So that's the good side. There's pros and cons to not working with a clothing company. Honestly, it's sad that I won't be getting free clothes and making a little bit of commission off of what I help sell. But at the same time, I have loads of clothes. I don't need more clothes. It's not like I'm living off of what I was making from YoungLA. It was just extra cash. But I do appreciate everyone who did support me. I did, get quite a few referrals. I helped make quite a few sales. In fact, I made YoungLA quite a bit of money, but in their opinion, that wasn't good enough in a business aspect. So yeah, anyway, I just thought I should speak up about this because it actually happens to a lot of athletes, and they don't bring it up because they think it's embarrassing, you know, when they get dropped by a company. But it's like, it's totally understandable, and when you don't bring it up or speak about it with other people, it can get like pretty depressing, especially if you take it really hard. I didn't take it very hard, honestly, because like I already kind of knew what was going to happen, and I don't make a living off of selling clothes. I have a full-time job, so like I don't have to rely on it, and so like it's not really like life-changing in any way other than how it can somewhat be take a hit to the ego a little bit. But honestly, like there's a lot more to life than sponsors, and being a sponsored athlete isn't as glamorous and great as a lot of people say it is, actually. So like I know a lot of people on Instagram are asking me how to get sponsored by YoungLA, or you know, they would do anything to be sponsored by these clothing companies. I also think it's pretty easy to base your value off of following on Instagram. Like a lot of you think that since I have, you know, 400,000 followers, that I'm like, I might be better than people, or Instagram followers, YouTube followers, YouTube subscribers. Whether or not you're a sponsored athlete, it really does not determine your value. But yeah, I'm never gonna allow Instagram or anything like this to determine my worth, and I understand it's super easy to do that, which is the downside to social media in general, is comparisons. It's so easy to compare yourself to other people, but the problem with that is, like, you know, there's always something more that you're gonna want. So once you do get what that person has that you want, for example, like if you do become a sponsored athlete with YoungLA, there's always going to be something more that you're going to want, you know, like you're not going to be satisfied. You're always going to want more followers, you're always going to want more clothes, more money. Sometimes I imagine what the world would be like if Instagram never existed, or if all of a sudden Instagram and social media just disappeared. I honestly feel like it would be a relief, because it's so easy to compare yourself, because what you see on Instagram, you know, isn't reality. Obviously you see the best of people's lives in one picture, but you have no idea what's actually going on in their actual lives. Everyone's going through something in their lives that's really stressful, yet all you see on Instagram and social media are the best angles of themselves, the best times, talking about, you know, everything positive. But I think it's good to be realistic, which is why exactly I made this video, to help you guys realize that there's good and bad things that happen to me too. You know, I'm not always perfect. Being sponsored by a clothing company that's super popular is something that's not supposed to. Probably be a while until I work with, but I am still working with Blue Star Nutraceuticals. It's a supplement company. Their stuff is really good, and they treat me really well. I don't have to make, you know, I don't have to make thousands of dollars of sales every month, you know, as long as I just meet those posting requirements and am genuine about, you know, the product. Like, that's all they want. So that's the kind of company that I would want to work with. So yeah, I just wanted to make a video about that today. Nothing too special or crazy. But if you guys can, please leave a like and subscribe. I'm going to be making a lot more videos. I am currently 22 days out from my competition, so I'm doing, you know, a Road to Pro series right now on YouTube, and I'm super excited. So we're going from a pro card, and I'm doing this naturally, so we're going against the enhanced dudes. So anyway, leave a like, subscribe, comment what you liked and what you'd like to see more of, and we'll see you next time.